What's up, guys, and welcome back. I'm back here at Hyundai of Lakewood, Florida, checking out this brand new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe SE. Now, this is the very base model that is available on this brand new SUV, and I've done a limited a couple days ago. It was a very popular video. In your comments, you let me know that you'd like to see something that not as much equipped. So here it is, as base as they get, but you'll be surprised of what you get for a base price of under $35,000 for a 3-row SUVs. So if you like watching videos like this, guys, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out the rest of it. I'm sure you'll find something that you like. And now let's get back to this. Well, the Santa Fe is definitely a biggest departure from the previous look to the current look out of any vehicles that I've done recently, and your comments show it. Some people love it, some people hate it, and yeah, bring it on. I want to hear more of that. One of my favorite comments says that it looks like Ford Flex and Land Rover Defender had a baby and it came up with this. Well, let me know what you think about this design. Well, let's dive deep and see what this is all about. Obviously, we have some differences between this and the higher trim level. However, the shape of this vehicle is unchanged. That's exactly the same as we've seen on the Limited. What's also the same is the lights. You still have the LED daytime running lights in the shape of the letter H, and you have the LED headlights. You also have this glowing light right in the middle there, and then you have the H symbol, Hyundai symbol right here, that's indented inside of this very flat hood. Now down below you have the active shutters that open and close as the engine needs more or less air to cool it down, and for better aerodynamics you also have the air curtains on the side. Everything else right here at the bottom, you have some piano black, again the shape of the letter H, just so you're not forgetting of what kind of vehicle you're driving. And down at the very bottom you have this polished aluminum looking trim piece, same engine as on the Limited trim. In case you didn't watch that video, well, let me show you what it is. Here underneath the hood, you'll find the same 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 277 horsepower, 311 foot-pounds of torque, made it to an 8-speed dual clutch, wet clutch, automatic transmission with pedal shifters. Now, even the space trim has the hood struts on each side. They also have some sound insulation right underneath the hood, so it should make it for a nice and quiet ride. And right here on the side, obviously the same look. Now, the wheels are different because on this base trim level, you have the 18-inch wheels. And let's take a closer look at them, because I do like the shape of them overall. They're alloy wheels, they're black and silver, Hyundai logo right here in the middle. The tire size, we have 235 by 60 on 18-inch rim. And surrounding those wheels, you have this matte black cladding that also continues right at the bottom of this vehicle. You have the Santa Fe badge right on the side, as we've seen on the higher trim level. Now the mirrors, the top of the mirrors are the same color as the rest of the vehicle, but they don't have the camera right underneath here. They do have the blind spot assist. That's a standard equipment even on this base trim level, and this vehicle is equipped with the keyless entry system, so as long as I have the key somewhere on me, I can lock it and unlock it. But as you can see, the mirrors don't fall down. I think the most important thing about this vehicle is the price of it. $35,680. This is the front wheel drive version, which is really attractive for what you see in the segment. And as we go to the back side of the vehicle, this is where I got the most comments on my previous video, and that's of course because of this kind of controversial looking light. Some people say, hey, don't complain about it. Well, I can do whatever I want, right? That's my channel. I mean, I don't think it's the best design in my eyes, but you might feel completely different about it, and I welcome your comments here. Welcome to put whatever you want in the comment section. So the same lights as we've seen on the limited trim level. Now I can blink them for you, right? You still have this H letter design inside of them. Right underneath you have the reflector lights, and down at the very bottom you also have the reverse lights. Now the exhaust is on one side only, kind of wish that they did it on both sides. Santa Fe spelled out, big Hyundai logo. Now you do have the third brake light right here, and underneath here you have the window wiper, so nicely hidden from the elements. And that gives you that brand new remote, the kind of egg-shaped design of it. Not sure if I like it or don't like it. So what do we have here? Lock, unlock, hold to start the vehicle. Even on the base trim you have the remote starter. You have the hold for panic button and hold to open the gate. This is your base trim level, guys. Now on top of this gate you have the lock and close button. You can also adjust the height of this gate to your desired position, and here's the room behind it. Now we have some accessories in here that have been added on, like the floor mats. So we're going to take this all out, and I'm going to show you what we have here. So underneath this board you have a little bit of extra storage. You also have the jack to lift up the vehicle, and the tire is actually underneath the vehicle, so you don't have the cargo cover which came standard on the limited trim level. About just over 14 cubic feet of space behind the third row seat, and over 40 cubic feet of space if you're looking with the seats folded down. Now you can still fold down the seats by pushing the button right here to extend it. So this is a nice feature even on the base trim level. Now keep in mind, again, we're not looking at anything high end, we're looking at the base trim level. You still have the cup holders. Now you don't have the fan. If I'm not mistaken, there was a fan here for the third row seat. And yes, there are no sunroofs on this vehicle. As we've seen, there were two sunroofs on the limited trim version, but you know, there has to be something different between the two. But if you don't care about it, this is a nicely equipped vehicle. And there you go, both of the seats folded down. This is how much room we have for a cargo. Let's take a peek in the passenger compartment. So let's take a look on the inside of this vehicle, starting with this rear door panel. We still have the nice padding in here. This is all soft material. This is a different looking trim that we've seen on the higher end model, but it also has this polished aluminum looking trim. This is hard plastic. This is nicely padded for your armrest, and then you have the window controls. You also have two cup holders and a little bit of storage down here at the bottom. As you notice, there's no branded stereo, so we don't have a Bose stereo here. But let's take a look at the seating configuration. So first of all, the seats are fabric covered, right? So there's no leather on the seats as we've seen on the higher trim level, but the same configuration, you know, kind of the 60-40 split on here. And let's take a peek. You know, what do we have in the back of the seat? So you have some hooks, so you can put some stuff on top of it. And look at this trim. It kind of reminds you of the lights in front of the back, the H letters, the light bar in the middle, and then you have some storage in the back of the seat, as well as the USB Type-C. Right here, the middle console, we have no vents right here. The vents are actually on the pillars. I'm going to show that in a moment. But there is a drawer that pulls open, and you can also open that console in the front from both sides, back and the front. Now the seats, as I mentioned, they're 60-40 split, so as you can see, they can be adjusted. They move front and back. You also have this armrest with the cup holders, and if you need to get in the back seat, push the button, boom, the seat gets out of the way. Let me get inside. I'll show you how much room I have. Check it out, guys. So if I move the seat a little bit back, I'll be fine. If I try to move it all the way back, well, not so much. I'll squish my knees. Okay, so I need to compromise and move the seat just a little bit forward. And if I can do this and still have some room in the front, I'll be okay. Well, let me jump in the middle row seat and see if I'll have enough room in the seat being in this position right here. Let's check it out. Well, check it out. That probably would not be the most comfortable position, but I will fit in behind the driver's seat, which is adjusted to my regular driving position. I can move the seat back quite a bit, and of course plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder room, and a very comfortable sitting position. Now I gotta tell you, the seats are on the firmer side, so if you're used to something that's really soft and plush, these are not the seats. However, they can be adjusted several different ways. You can relax a little bit, you can recline them, and overall I can see myself being in this seat for a longer drive. Now, of course, let's hear the sound of the closing door. Pretty solid, no complaints here. Take a look at the front door panel here. Same as in the rear, with the exception that you have all 4 window controls, mirror controls, and the lock and unlock for all doors. You still have the same trim right on top, the polished aluminum looking trim, and this cool looking trim kind of right in the middle, kind of to break it up a little bit. More storage in the bottom of the door, of course. And then here are the seats. The seats are manual adjustments on this base trim level. That's both for driver and passenger, so you won't get the power adjustment as we've seen on the limited trim. Now right here at the bottom, you do have the same storage as we've seen on the higher trims, with the 12-volt power outlet. Nothing crazy as far as the pedals. And on the side of the steering wheel, you have the parking. You also have your dimmer. You have the ability to open your gate and turn off your traction control. The steering wheel, tilt and telescopic. Let's get inside. I'll show you the rest of it. So here's the interior of this 24 Santa Fe SE. It looks pretty impressive for the base trim. Now, there are several differences. I'm going to point them out to you as we go along between this and the limited trim, which is, by the way, towards the top. It's not top of the line trim. The calligraphy is, but I don't have much information on the calligraphy, and you can't still build them on the Hyundai's website as of the time of this filming. So it's really nice that this is all the same material, the same soft touch material on top, making it look more quality, more expensive than some of the other competitors. This is one of your glove boxes. This is one on the top. Now on the higher trim level, on the limited and the calligraphy, you have the UV light that's going to disinfect your phone if you turn it on. You don't get it on the base trim. You still get the same shelf right here at the bottom, and of course here's your regular glove box right at the bottom here. Nicely designed here as far as everything else. Notice here, in case you were forgetting, this is letter H type deal. This is the same thing as you've seen on the lights, front and back. And then you have this curved bezel housing those 2 displays. Now, this is a full 12.3-inch display for your infotainment system. This is your digital display as far as your instrument cluster. Now, on the limited model, we've seen a little button here. I was told that this is a fingerprint reader, which you don't get here, to customize user 1 or user 2, customize your experience with this vehicle. Now, the same steering wheel as far as the design, nicely leather wrapped. You have the pedal shifters in the back, bunch of buttons on each side. You have the 4 dots for the H, that stands for H and Morse code. And now you have, let's see, so here is your cruise control. Adaptive cruise control comes standard with this vehicle, so you can adjust the gap between you and the car in front of you. You also have the lane keep assist. Now, this is for your volume, pause, repeat, as far as your tracks if you're playing any of the media. Okay, now you have the pages button that controls what's going on in the instrument cluster, that middle screen. I'll show you that in just a little bit. On the other side, you have the mode and the start button. Both of them can be customized to perform different functions. And of course, you have the up and down. You have the voice control, you have the phone control, volume and mute button on here. Here's your instrument cluster right in the middle. See those pages button? If I press it right here, it goes to the lane keep assist right here, tire pressure, drive to display, and basically your trip control. If you can scroll down, you have trip A, trip B, or since last reset, and you go back here. So go back to the other one and information, and that's pretty much it. So not as much of customization as you've seen on the higher trim level. Now we still have 3 different drive modes: normal, sport, and my drive, which is individual drive mode. And this instrument cluster consists on the tachometer on the right hand side, speedometer on the left hand side, and then you have the fuel gauge and then the temperature gauge on the other side. You also have the outside temperature, speed limit, so it reads the speed signs, etc. Let's move on to the instrument cluster. A little bit different because right from the beginning you don't see the navigation system that's standard on the higher trim level. However, you can connect your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto using either wired or wireless connection, which is really nice. And then you have the Sirius XM as far as the source for your radio. Now turn it up just a bit. So nice and deep sound. Not as good as the Bose stereo that you'll find on the limited trim level, but still not bad. Phone projection, valet mode, maintenance, notification, online manual, and setup. Still several different things that you can set up on this vehicle. Cluster, theme selection. All right, so we're gonna link it to the drive mode. It didn't change before. Let's see what's changing now. So you have the normal, sport, just makes it a little bit redder, kind of like we've seen on the Sonata and My Drive. Okay, and then this is your cluster selection. You can turn on the welcome sound, turn it off if you don't like it. Go back to your home screens. What do you want to see? Let's see buttons. See those buttons on the steering wheel. You have the mode button, star button. You have the star button right here. And you also have the up and down buttons on the steering wheel. These can be custom made to it, as well as you can select, not on this one. So these buttons can be change of favorite, station channel, change station frequency. Mode button, the one right at on the steering wheel. Now you have the Bluetooth audio, phone projection, sounds of nature, which I didn't even know this has, USB music, FM, AM, Sirius XM, and a custom button on the audio system. So let's go back in here. Let's see as far as the sound. Okay, premium sound. Speed dependent volume control. All right, so you can actually adjust it as fast as you go. You can make the vehicle sound, well, the radio, the stereo sound louder, so you don't have to manually adjust it. So position of the sound, you can make it to the driver, middle, right rear seats, front passenger, etc. So a lot of customization here. Connected devices, driver's assistance. This is where you select your drive mode. Now, this vehicle does not have, the active suspension. So the powertrain, you can do it in normal, sport, or smart. It's going to kind of change the way that the vehicle feels, more aggressive or less aggressive. I have not really found any differences in normal or sport as far as the steering. Might be just a tad, tighter as far as the sport mode in here. You can also adjust climate, light, doors, convenience. Okay, well, let's get out of here because we went over this in the higher trim level. Let's go down, start, stop button. And here's another thing. The lights was one thing that a lot of people are complaining about it. Also the shifter. The shifter moved to the column of the steering wheel, and it is definitely different. Okay, the way you switch it. Let me show it to you from here. You want to drive it. Okay, right here. Okay, move it up and go in the reverse, move it down. Okay, park, push the button. That's it. Now move it down to reverse so you can see the rear view camera. Good quality camera. Now you don't have the 360 as we've seen on the limited version, so you don't have that functionality, but you do have the active trajectory lines. Decent display as far as the camera, and yes, you can extend rear view monitor, rear view parking guidelines. Those are on display settings. You can adjust the brightness, contrast, etc. Let's get out of here, put it back in park, and scroll down. Now you don't have the automatic climate control. You have the manual climate control on this. So see, remember, you were able to adjust the temperature. There was a dual zone climate control. It's a single zone climate control on the base trim level here. You still have the adjustments on the fan, adjustments on the temperature, different vents that the air is coming out of. And you have a bunch of hard buttons. Those are your shortcuts to the stuff that you see on the monitor. Volume and power button. Seek track on the other side. Here's your auto hold button for your brakes. press this, and once you press the brake pedal and release it, the vehicle won't move until you hit the accelerator. Drive mode, we went over that already. Turn off that automatic start-stop feature, hill descent assist. All right, so now we have the parking. This is the parking camera. It does not have the parking assist. And here's your parking sensors. You still have the same controls as far as the charging, but you don't have the NFC, you don't have the digital key, you don't have the wireless charging. Now on the calligraphy, you can charge 2 phones. There are 2 wireless charging pads. This is not the case with this vehicle, so don't be confused about, you know, those little pads here. They're non-functional. You have huge cup holders right here. As I mentioned before, this opens up both ways, giving you tons more storage, and there's even illumination in there. How cool is that? Okay, so go up here to the mirror. Okay, nothing too crazy about it. There's no home link on the mirror, anything like this. You have your light controls, no sunroofs on this. As you remember, we had 2 sunroofs on the Limited. You do have the illumination right here for the visors. So this is the interior of this base trim level. This is not even an SEL. This is just an SE, guys. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section. Now let's take it for a spin. I imagine it's going to drive exactly the same as the Limited trim level because it does have the same power plant. It has the same 2.5-liter turbocharged engine, the same 8-speed wet clutch, dual clutch, automatic transmission. Before we take it on the road, let's see how it turns. Okay, so I'm here in this empty parking lot. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the right, and let's see how many spots it takes to turn it around. So we have 1, 2, 3 and a half, 4. All right, so 4 parking spots to turn it completely around. This is basically in line of any other mid-size SUV that I tested. It's not bad at all. You know, it's fairly quiet. You know, as we drive this vehicle here in this parking lot, let's see if it's going to be any difference in the sound insulation between this and the higher trim level, or maybe the tire noise is going to be different. Price wise, you know, this vehicle, the other one that I tested, it was about $45,000. That's with all of the accessories, and you can definitely check out that video to see what it has. It has quite a bit more features. The question is if it's something that you must have, or maybe that SE is good enough for you, because the starting MSRP on this one, $33,950. Now plus destination, this one has like literally 3 small items that were added to it at the factory. So $35,680 is the total MSRP with the destination charging and everything. So about $10,000 between this and the one that I've tested a couple days ago. Let's listen to the road noise. And this is this crappy road. I keep on mentioning this every time I test drive a Hyundai. I don't know what they did on the surface, but it's definitely more rough surface than it will be in 3, 2, 1. It's nice and quiet. The tires are different, right? We had the 20-inch. We have a little bit more of a sidewall here at 60. I believe that was 45 or 40. Not exactly remember. On the previous vehicle that I did, the Limited. Okay, but it's not bad at all. It still has this lane keep assist. So as I try to move out of the lane without turning the turn signal on, it will pull me back, you know, kind of keep me in place where I need to be. All right, turning the corner here, not bad. A little bit of a body roll. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I mean, it's not super soft, but it's not very tight either. Now, which mode am I in? Okay, now I'm in the sport mode. So it kind of changed a little bit of mapping of the engine, I believe, because it kind of stalled a little bit on me. So yes, it's more responsive. And the steering, even though, you know, there's no adaptive suspension, but it tightened up the steering a bit as well. Okay, so as far as acceleration on this, we're at 0. Let's go. Bit of a wheel spin. And there you go, about 55. Not bad. Exactly the same as we've seen on the Limited. There's no difference between the way that those vehicles drive. It's actually, both of them are pretty quiet. I like that they put the sound insulation underneath the hood. I like that the whole vehicle is nicely insulated from the outside noises. So very nice. Overall, this is one of the most loaded bass trims. I keep on saying that about Hyundais and Kias when they come with the bass trim. This is no longer the bass trim that you'll remember from days way back. Now, here, let me give you an example. I'm going to age myself, but back in 1997, I was selling Hondas. And we had a Honda Civic CX, which was a vehicle which has a manual transmission, no hubcaps, no radio, no air conditioning, no power windows, no power door locks. I mean, this is what you would get with the base trim. So this is fully loaded for many people, right? I mean, we got used to the nice equipment that we get in the highest trim levels, but to get two 12.3-inch screens, you get the wireless Android Auto, you get the remote starter on the remote, the keyless entry system, the blind spot assist, you get the power lift gate on the base trim level. How much more can you put in the base trim? Let me know what you think. I'm gonna try to get the SEL and the XRT on the channel. We kind of do some of the comparisons between the trims. I think this is enough for many people. Let me know what you think. Put it in the comment section. Really love to read them and respond to them, guys. And if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to show me some love. Support the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Give me a like and turn on that bell notification ring bell. And I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.